Today is February 12th, 2011 is the first session, Vyakaranam Vibhagaha. So let's do the Mangalacharanam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bhora Mama Mudhara Ram Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanane Shri Ramanama Varanana On Namaiti Hatha Shri Maheshwara Sutrani Eun Rulruk Eong Ayauch Hayavarat Lan Nyamanga Na Nam Jabain Garadash Jabagaradash Kapha cha 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 tav kapai sha sha sar hal iti maheshwara sutrani. So let's continue with the pulling a subanta prakriya. We are coming to the end of subanta prakaranam now, so we only will require a few new rules today. Most of the rules that we have are going to be the old rules that we already have learned. So by this time now, you should be ready to start applying your knowledge to tackle pretty much any subanta prayoga. We will require some new rules. Of course, we have not covered all the rules so far, and we will not be covering all the rules, but it should give you enough to look up the one or two rules that you require. Because you can apply all the samanya niyamaha, then ask the questions, what is the special rule required in this case, and take it from there. Okay, so let us start with, today we're looking at the Talavya Shakaranta Pratipadikani. Let's start from that. We are going, as mentioned before, in the order of the Maheshwara Sutrani. So this is the order in Siddhanta Kaumudi, where first we did the Ajanta Prakriya, then the Halanta Prakriya. Within the Halanteshu, first we did the Pullinga Shabdaha. That's what we are doing, and we are continuing in the order of the Maheshwara Sutrani. So right now we are coming to the end. We are coming to the Talavya Shakaranta Shabdaha. So only this much is left. So I think we will probably complete this prakriya in the next 2 classes, maybe 3 at the most. Of course, you'll have a lot of practice. I think you're getting the daily examples. I hope all of you are looking at the daily examples on the website, and also getting notifications. So we'll have a lot of chance to practice in the next few months, actually maybe even 2 years. For the rest of your life, you have a chance to practice about the prakriya. So let us start today. So as I mentioned, you'll be using all the previous rules, many of them. So please practice those. And we'll require maybe only about 5 or 6 new rules today. So let's look at this. The first Pratipadikam, we're looking at the Pratipadikam called Tadrish. Talavya Shakaranta Tadrish Pratipadikam. So what is special about this Pratipadikam? Really nothing special, except that the Pratyaya Quin is going to be used against this, with this Pratipadikam. So really, once this Pratyaya Quin is used, then we can decline it like Ritvij. So really nothing, as far as Subanta Prakriya is concerned, there is no new rules over here. The only thing is that, I guess this is Prasangikam, which is, by the way, we want to see how this Pratipadikam Tadrish came about, or Tadrisha. There are 2 optional forms, Tadrish and Tadrisha. So we're going to see how this Pratipadikam came. Once we get the Pratipadikam, Subanta Prakriya is going to be same as what we had before. Nothing new at all. So let's look at the first list. We start the Pratipadikam Tad Pratipadikam plus the Dhatu Drish, the Pratyaya Kai Pratyayaha. Now this is actually a compound. This is a Samasaha. So we have not really done compounds at all. So don't worry about, if you don't understand how this Pratipadikam came. I'm going to give you like a 2-minute review of how, the steps to get this Pratipadikam. First of all, any compound, you have to have a Samasa Vidhayaka Sutram in the Dvitiyasya Adhyayasya Prathame Pade Athva Dvitiye Pade. So only 2.1 and 2.2 are the only 2 padas of Ashtadhyaya where Panini talks about, kind of authorizes the formation of compounds. So 2.1, 2.2. So from 2.1.1 Samartha Padavidhi, from there up to the end of 2.2. Always keep the Ashtadhyayi map in front of your eyes So this is one of the things we try to do in this class as much as we can. Don't lose sight of the Ashtadhyayi. Because today nobody opens the Ashtadhyayi at all. People only read Siddhanta Kaumadi at the most, Laghu at the most, if at all that. So if you want to really get Naipunyam, Vyakarana Naipunyam, then you have to know the Ashtadhyayi Kramaha. So 2-1 and 2-2. Within that, the Tatpurusha compounds come from 2-1-2-2 up to 2-2-2-2. Tatpurushaha. Tatpurushaha. So why do we need all this right now? Because the Pratipadikam Tadrisha and Tadrish, which you're going to consider, they are what are called as Upapada Samasaha. Upapada Samasa is a Vibhagaha, Vishesha Vibhagaha. This is a special kind of the Tatpurusha compounds. And the sutram is Upapadam Ating. Upapadam Ating. Within this sutram says that if you have a qualified Upapadam, Upapadam means that something which is close by, which is in this case the Purapadam. If that is there, then you can form a Upapada Samasaha as long as the Tingantam is not being created. Again, here very quickly, just spend 2 seconds on this, is that there is normally in a compound you have to have the sup, supa, which is one sup with another sup, which you have to have a subantam ready. But this is a special case where the other sup is not yet ready. You still want to form a compound, which is allowed. So what we are talking about is that this second half, which drish or drisha, cannot stand on its own. It depends on the left-hand side being there. So that's what's called as the Upapada Samasa, very simply. And, now that's only one sutram in that 2.2 which authorizes Upapada Samasaha. But now the question comes is that how do we know which Upapadam can be used with which dhatu and which pratyaya can be taken? Now that is the topic of chapter 3 of the Ashtadhyayi, where Panini starts this adhikara which says, Tatropapadam saptamistham. Tatropapadam saptamistham. So from there we see that Panini now says that, 3192, I'm sorry, 3192 it starts, Tatropapadam saptamistham. So here we will say that, in this prakaranam from 3192 onwards to the end of chapter 3, which is that where is in this dhato adhikara which is coming here, anything which is in saptami in the sutram will be qualifying as, it might indicate a upadam that can be used. So now again, this is all a background for you. Don't worry if you don't understand any of this right now, because all we need to do right now is to know that this Pratipadikam Tadrish is ending in a Quin Pratyayaha. But I just want to give you 1 2-minute background for that. So now the sutram that we are using in this is in this section of Tatrapapadam Saptamistam in this Dhato Adhikaraha, and the sutram is Kyadadishu Drisho Nalochane Kaicha. Now remember the sutram which we already seen to form the Padavim Ritvig Dadrig Srug Ityadi, we already saw that sutram. So the Kyadadishu Drisho Nalochane Analochane Kaicha. Analochanam means that he should not be the seer, the one who is, understanding, one who is, perceiving knowledge. So basically it is that. So Tadrishaha is one which appears like that. It is appearing like that. It is not the one who is the seer, not the one who is seeing. So Tadrish means something which looks like that, which looks. It is not looking itself, but it looks like that. It's an object of the seeing. So Chada, let's look at this. That's the first sutram for today. Chadadishu Drisho Nalochane Kancha. Now, the first thing you want to do is that any new sutram, of course, repeat it a few times. Best thing you can do is to repeat the Panini Sutrani. Chadadishu Drisho Nalochane Kancha. I know it looks like a long way. This sounds difficult in the beginning, but this is the shortest way to learn Vyakaranam. There is no other shorter way. It's very tempting to circumvent this and go somewhere else, but this is, in the long run, this pays a lot of dividends. So let's look at this sutram and see what the meaning is. And it says that Chadadishu Upapadeshu Ajnanarthat Drishehe Kai Syat Shat Quin. So there are 2 pratyayas being ordained here. One is optionally, of course. One is the Kai Pratyayaha, Kaincha. Sutram says Kaincha. And optionally Quin. Quin, of course, anuvritti is coming down. So when the Chad, etc., where Chadadis we've seen many times before, you know that, as part of the Sarvadigana, Chadadigana, the end of that Sarvadini Sarvadamani, Sarvadini Sarvanamani, have this. Now, right now, unfortunately, our links of the sutra are not working right now. the links are not working. So what we can do for the time being is that look at this other place to look at the Sutrani, because right now, as I said, the links are not working, but Ravi is working on that, Kalpesh is working, and hopefully we'll have something soon. So in the meanwhile, we can look at this place. This is the Sarvadini Sarvanamani. Sarvadini Sarvanamani. There is at the end of the Tadadis, which is down here, Tyad, Tad, Yad, Etad, etc. So these are coming at the end of Sarvadini Sarvanamani. So when their Upapadam is there, one of these is the Upapadam, then this Dhatu Drish, this Dhatu Drish can take the Pratyaya Kai to form a compound, Upapada Samasaha. And Chat means because the Pani said Cho in the Sutram, you can also take the Pratyaya Quin to form a compound. So we'll get two different compound forms. So that is what we are doing today. Now, so when we start with Tad plus Drish plus Kai by 3 to 60, now this Sutra which comes here is 6391. This is also a section which you don't have to pay too much detail right now, because this is telling you what happens in a compound to the Purva Padam. The Adhikara of 631, Uttarapade goes down. Uttarapade. Uttarapade means, of course, it has to be a compound. And when the Uttarapadam is following, then what is the karyam to be done for the Purapadam? So, Aluguttarapade. See, when you notice like word like Vishwamitraha, Mahatma, so Mahat becomes Maha, Vishwamitra. So all these places, when something is happening like Yudhishthira, Yudhi, that the vibhakti has not gone. So all these compounds, like Atmani Padam, Parasmani Padam, these are all these special things happening to the Pura Padam in a compound. Right now we're not studying compounds, so it's not that important, but we need to use this sutram to form the Pratipadikam Tadrish and Tadrisha. That's why we are coming here. So this is not really the topic right now that we are doing, but because we want to understand how the Pratipadikam came, we are coming over here. It says Asarvanamnaha. Asarvanamnaha. And what does the Sutram say? Sutram says that Sarvanamnaha. So Sarvaka in Sarvadini Sarvanamani by 1127. Sarvanamnaha. Akaro Antadeshasya. So of course the Shashtisthane Yoga. So the Sarvanama Shabda will take the Akara as the Antadeshaha. When what happens when the Drik, Drisha or Vatushu, when this Drik or Drisha and the Vatu follows. So you get the form. So of course this Drik, of course, yes.
It looks as though you typed as Drishya, Drisha or Vatu, and not the Drik there.
But this is the Pratipadikam he has taken, in the Pratipadikam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pratipadikam. So this is before you begin the Suprati. It will become clear in a second, because this is while the compound is being formed itself,
Okay.
So Drisha or Vatu. But anyway, thanks for checking. So this Drish is that Quin Pratyayanta in the Upada Samasa. This Drisha is the Kai Pratyayanta, and the Vatu, of course, is for Vatu Pratyaya, like Tavat, Yavat, etc., which actually you already have the examples being sent to you. We already had the word Tavat, Yavat. So there also we have to use the Sutram to make the Tad into a Ta. Just continue with the example. So here we have this one, which says that, okay, so we use 6391. So Asarvanamnaha, Asarvanamnaha, Asarvanamnaha. These are the rules that we have to repeat as many times. So when we have a Sarvanama Shabdaha, which is the Uttarapadam, which is the Pura Padam, it's followed by one of these three, Drish, Drisha, or the Vatu Pratyaya. In that case, of course, Vatu Pratyaya will not be a compound, of course, it will be Tadita Prayogaha. But when one of these three follows, when Drish and Drisha will follow, or when the Vatu Pratyaya follows, then the Sarvanama Shabda will take the Akara Adeshaha. Anytime you say Adeshaha, the next thing coming out of your mouth should be Alontyasya. Alontyasya. Any Adesha only replaces the ending letter Alontyasya. So here that's what we have done. Only the Dakara of Tad becomes A. And then of course we do the Akas Savarni Dirgha Tadrisha. Even Pratyaya Kai is added. Of course the Pratyaya Kai, I think by this time all of you know, Lashakvatadjite Halantyam. You got these examples many times. So Anubandha Lope Akaraha Tadrisha. this will decline like Rama Shabdaha. Nothing, as I said to you, this all is background. If you don't understand, don't worry about it. Basically, Tadrisha is a Akaranta Partipudikam. It's actually a Visheshanam. So right now we're looking at the Pullinga Prakriya. So we're talking about it like Rama Shabdaha. Rama Shabdaha. So again, reviewing one more time, what happened here is that by 3 to 60, we formed the Upapada Samasaha using 2-2-19, which is the Upapadama thing. These sutras are not in the Sutra 2G as yet, because we're not looking in detail at them as yet. These are only, we look at them in detail when we do compounds. So right now we don't need the details of these. So we formed the Upapada Samasa Tadrisha. The only special thing was that the ending Dakara took a Akara Adeshaha by Asarva Namnaha, and we got Kastam Dirgha Tadrisha Ramava Shabdaha. Now when the same Prakriya, Anyaneva Prakarena, when the Quin Pratyaya is added, then we get similarly by 3 to 60. So 3 to 60 one more time. Let's look at that. 3 to 60, 3 to 60, 3 to 60. Chadadishu. This Chadadishu is Saptami in the Sutram. Chadadishu. So that's what makes it the Upapadam, because Chadadishu is Saptami. So therefore by the Sutram 3192 is Tatra Upapadam Saptami Stham. So makes it into that indicates what's the Upapadam. Upapadam means that should be close by. That should be in this case the Purvapadam it is. So Chadadishu Drisho Na Lochane Kaincha. Drisho Na Lochane Kaincha. Drisho Na Lochane Kaincha. Okay. Now so then we get, when you get the Quin Pratyaya, so the Cha, because the Sutram we have Cha, so Quin Pratyaya also can come. In this case, of course, the Quin Pratyaya takes what's called Sarvapahara Lopaha. The entire Pratyaya goes away by Lashak Patadite Halancham Upadesha Junanasikait and Vera Praptasya, which all we have seen all of these before. The only special thing again is that the Akara Desha, Antya Desha, Anta Desha is Akara, and we get the Tadrish as before. Tadrish will decline like Ritvij. There will be no difference. No difference. Because the fact, let's see why there's no difference. Because Ritvij, what was happening, the Quin Pratyaya was used. And one more thing will happen. Why did we need the Quin Pratyaya in Ritvij? Because of the fact that if the Quin Pratyaya had not been there, then 8-2-36 would have come and done and would have been the final form, would have given the Mudhanya Shakara Desha. Chena Anishtam Rupam Syat, will be given the wrong form. So just like 8-2-36 applied to Pradipatikam Ritvij, because of Dhatu Yaj is specially mentioned over here. Vrashcha, Vrashcha, Srija, Vrija, Yaja. Yaja. So Yaja is mentioned here. Now, but in case of Dhatu Drish, what's happening? There is the Talavya Shakar is mentioned in the same sutram. So Vrashcha, Vrashcha, Srija, Vrija, Yaja, Raja, Bhrajascha, Sham, Shaha. So just like we had the 8-2-36 applied to Pradipim Ritvij because the Dhatu Yaj is mentioned here. Similarly for Dhatu Drish also, because the Talavya Shakar is mentioned, any Dhatu ending in Talavya Shakar also Jali Padante 8-2-36 will apply. So that's the reason why this Tadrish will decline like Ritvij. So we'll go through the steps quickly, but you don't have to, this is already all known to you. So if you just refer back to your notes on Ritvij, it's exactly the same steps over here. We quickly go through them. Tadrish plus 2, Prathama Ekavachanam, Anubandha Lopaha, by Upadesha Junanasika It, then of course Sulopaha, by the Hanliya Bhyodilgha Suti Siya Praptam Hal. Now we get the Padasanya by Suptingantam Padam, then by Vrashchaiti, that's Sutram 8-2-36, Brajash Chasham Shaha. So you get the Mudhanya Shakara Desha, then Jalam Jashwante 8-2-39, and then see if what would happen is that if the Pratyaya Quin were not used, Pratyaya Quip would have been, see Quip is like a default Pratyaya which can be used. But if you just use a Quip Pratyaya, you will not get the Anta Kakara Deshaha. So here we have to get the word Tadrik. So that's why we need 8-2-62 Quin Pratyasya Kuhu. Quin Pratyasya Kuhu. Again, we're not doing in detail today, because it's already done in the previous classes. So the same steps as in Ritvij. And of course, finally you get the Vavasane. Tadrik, Tadrish, Tadrik, Tadrish. The same as the Ritvij. I think Ravi, I need to mute yourself, or maybe it's the Vasu. Somebody's echoing. Okay. So the same steps. Only thing here is that in Ritvij 8-2-36 applied because the Dhatu Yaj was there, and it's applying here because of the the Talavi Shakaranta dhatu, we have dhatu drish. So similarly, Tadrish plus Au, nothing special because it doesn't have the Padasanya, because only Padasanya only comes when you have Supting on the Padam. The other one which you have learned is the Swadishva, Sarvanamasthane. They don't apply over here. Become just join Tadrishau, Tadrishaha, Tadrisham, Tadrishau. Vishesha Karyam Nasti. When the Shas Pratyaya comes, again, this Pratyaya doesn't have a Sarvanamasthana Sanya, but it is a Ajaji Pratyaya. So because by Yachibham comes in and gives it the Bha Sanya. So instead of Swadishva, just to refresh our memory, Swadishva Sarvanamasthane is 1417. Normally, when any Swaji Pratyaya follows, which of course includes the 21 Supratyaya, the Angam will get the Padasanya, but then the next sutram says Yachibham. The Angam, if the Pratyaya is Yakaradi or Ajadi, then the Angam gets the Bhasanya. See, this is very, very important concept. It's like a computer program. When the Padasanya comes, you will call the routine starting from 8116 Padasya. 8116 Padasya. So it's like a computer subroutine, you know. And when the Bhasanya comes, you will be calling the subroutine starting from 64129 Bhasya. So this concept of the Padasanya and Bhasanya is extremely important. I mean, you can tell, you know, because I think all the examples you've been receiving, almost everyone requires this. And again, that only starts Asarvanamasthane. So if we continue with the example here, when we have the Pratyaya Shas, this is not a Sarvanamasthana Pratyaya, because again, Sarvanamasthana is defined by what? Shi Sarvanamasthana, Sudana Pumusakasya, Sudana Pumusakasya. So Sut Anapumusakasya. So Su, Au, Jas, Out. Only those get the Sarvanamasthana Sanya, Anapumusakasya. The feminine and masculine, Su, Au, Jas, Out, get the Sarvanamasthana Sanya, not to be confused with the Sarvanama Shabda, which are the pronouns. So always keep those distinctions in mind. So Tadrish plus Shas, nothing special. Angam got the Bha Sanya. Why nothing special? Only when the Padasanya comes or when the Jal letter follows, then only you have to apply 8 to 36, which would then require 8 to 62. But right now, the Angam has the Bhasanya and the Pratyaya is not a Jhaladi. So just join together, become Tadrishaha. So when the Ajadi Pratyaya follows, Angam has Bhasanya, and of course there's no Jal letter following, it's Ajadi Pratyaya. Become Tadrisha, Tadrishe, Tadrishaha, Tadrisha. Nothing special over here. All this joined together. When the Haladi Pratyaya follows, then what happens is that now you have to use 1417 and you have to use Swadishva Sarvanamasthane. Swadishva Sarvanamasthane. Again, I cannot overemphasize the importance of 1417, 1418. Okay, please make an effort to understand these two sutras. Because in Halant Prakriya, you have to immediately, if the Pratyaya following does not have the Sarvanamasthana Sanya, immediately you have to make the distinction with the Angam as the Bhasanya or Padasanya is extremely important. Okay, so Padasanya by 1417, and now you have to, because we got the Padasanya, now we have to apply the Vrashcha, Vrashchaityadi, Bhrajash, Chasham, Murdhanya, Shakara, Adesha, become Tadrish, Bhyam, then of course Jalam, Jashwante, Tadrit Bhyam, and then finally, this is the important sutram, Quin Pratyasya Kuho, Tadrit Bhyam. Now you know why Panini had to force the Kavarga Adesha. If this sutram was not there, then you have been left with the Dakara over here. So that is the reason why Panini puts the Quin Pratyaya and then says Quin Pratyasya Kuho to make the Kavarga Adesha. In fact, you can work backwards. You can work backwards. The fact that you have the Pradip become Tadrish, which is the Talavi Shakaranta, is going to become Mudhanya Shakaranta by the Vrashchaiti Shaha 8 to 36. And now that the Kavarga has been forced on it, you can work backwards and figure out the Quin Pratyaya must have probably been used here. Quin Pratyasya Kuhu might be used. So now you have enough knowledge to Subandha Prakriya to have some fun, you know. So apply the rules that you know. They don't give you the correct form, then you can, it's like a puzzle. Every Subandham is like a puzzle for you now. You can fit some pieces easily. Some pieces are less known to you. Some pieces we haven't covered yet, but it can be, you know. So now we are coming to the end of Subandha Prakriya, so you can start, you know, I guess flexing your muscles in the Subandha Vibhaga. Similarly, becomes Tadrigbhi tadrigbhya, in all these places, finally kin pratyasya ku, that's the kavargadeshaha. And then, of course, you have to use the sthanyantra tamaha, because this dakara will take the tritiya varnaha, dakaraha. So tadrigbhya, tadrik plus sup when you have, tadrish plus sup when you have, again you apply the reshcheti shaha, mudhanya shakaradeshaha, 8236, tat paschat, jhalam jashvante, dakaradeshaha, kin pratyasya kuho, sthanyantra tamaha, say the closest substitute becomes gakaraha. Now at this point you can apply adesha pratyayoho, because remember in the anuvritti for 8359, adesha pratyayoho is in koho. So right now we have the gakara preceding, so we can apply that, make it tadrig shu, finally kharicha tadrig shu. Okay. So this is nothing really special we had so far. Only thing we saw how this form was formed. Upapada samasa using 3 to 60, and then sutram asarvanamnaha. Okay. Let's look at the prajpadikam shash now. The shash is, of course, is a number, sankhya vachak shabdaha, and just like panchan, etc. This will be panchan, like I think we already had panchan saptan before ashtan. This will also be nityam bahuvachanantaha shabdaha. It will only be declared in the plural, and it is trishu lingeshu samanarupani. So it has the same forms in all three genders. There are no new rules required here. As I said to you again, I'll say to you one more time, we only have now 2 more classes, maybe 3. Subandha Prakriya. The rest of your life, you can practice these. And so you have plenty of time. So if you miss something, you didn't understand something, don't worry. It will be coming to you every single day. Every single day you're going to get examples. And of course, you can always post your question if you have any. So shash plus first will be just only because, as I said, nityam bahuvachananta shabdaha. When just pratyaya comes, we have to use 124, the sanya sutram. Again, I hope by this time you're getting some idea of the Ashtadhyayi map. The moment you see the first adhyaya, first padaha, you think of the sanyadikaraha. This is the sanya prakaranam. Sanya, because because the first chapter point you define all these sanyas. Of course, every sanya has a prayojanam where to use it. So shnanta shat. So any sankhya vachak shabda which ends in the mudhanya shakara atva nakaraha, that's the shat sanya, which you already have seen before. When we did the Parvadikam Panchan, we saw this. So shnanta shat, this shash gets the shat sanya. Again, why it's called shat? Because there are the six terms, which is the panchan, shash, saptan, ashtan, navan, dashan. These 6 get the shat sanya. So shash, and then of course shadbhyo look. Sutram which we use many times, which is the samo napunsakat, which we use all the time. The prior sutram is shadbhyo look. If you have a angam which has the shat sanya, then the jash and shas take the look. And let me remind you one more time, is as in contrast to alontyasya, sutram says pratyasya luk shulpaha. Alontyasya was coming over here. But then you have the pratyasya luk shulpaha. So when the luk, shlu and lup is done, elision is done, entire pratyaya goes away. Pratyasya luk shulpaha. So here there is no alontyasya, the entire thing is gone. Pratyasya luk shulpaha. Okay. So we get basically as simple as that. So the just as well as shas will take look, and then we go jhalam jashvante, and then vavasani. Now you understand why we did the sandhi prakaranam first. So that is like very basics. They're going to be, again, you're going to get a lot of time to practice. I hope abhyasena griyate. I hope when you look back now that the sandhi prakaranam is getting easier and easier for you. The same thing will happen here. When we go in the next few months, next year or so, year and a half, we will be doing the Tinganta Prakaranam. At that time, when you look back to Subandha Prakaranam, it will become easy for you. So don't worry if it's a little bit hard for you right now. You will catch up with it as we go along. So Shat and Shad Bhyo look, Nalam Jashvante, Vavasane. Shash plus bis, again you get the Padasanya because of Swadishva Sarvanama Sthane, and then Jalam Jashvante. And of course, the Rutta Visargau, Shadbhya, Now here, when you get shat plus am, this is only slightly complicated thing over here. Again, no new rules are required here. Shash plus am. Here the angam right now does not have the padasanya. Again, keep 1417, 1418 fresh in your mind at all times, which is the Swadishva Sarvanamasthani Yachibham. But then what happens? You get the Nut Agamaha. Nut Agama, Shat Chaturbhyascha. Because the sutram which you use more frequently, which is Rasanadhyapo Nut, Rasanadhyapo Nut, Tasya Anantaram Sutram. Anantaram Sutram is the next rule, which is the Shat Chaturbhyascha. Shat Chaturbhyascha. So that is what is being used to get the Nut Agamaha. Agamaha means you of course know Adyantau Takitau. Of course, any technical term, remove the it letters by Halantyam. Upadesha Junanasika it, and then Adyantau Takitau, Adyantau Takitau, Adyantau Takitau. And so we get the Nakara, the Agama coming in the beginning of the Am, Adya Vajavaha, it becomes the first member, and we get Shat plus Nam. Now what happens is that now the Angam gets the Padasanya because now we have the Pratyaya which is not Yakaradi Atva Ajadi. So by 1417 Swadishva Sarvanamasthane, the Padasanya we get Shad plus Nam. Shad plus Nam. Because Angam now got the Padasanya by 1417. Before it was followed by the Pratyaya Am, which was Ajadi, so it had the Bhasanya, but now the Padasanya came. So remember, any Agamaha is not a separate element. Yada Agamastad Guni Bhavati. It comes and becomes a part and parcel, it joins. Mitravad Agamaha. It comes and joins the Pratyaya, becomes a part of its family. It is not separate from it. As opposed to Pratyayaha, which stays separate. It can interact. It can cause Guna, Vidhi, maybe Samsaranam with that. Of course, Adesha replaces a part of something. So because the Nut Agama came, the entire Pratyaya has become Nam now. So the term Nam has the Pratyaya Sanya. So it is not like Na is separate and Am is separate. Nam is the new Pratyaha. So it is no longer a Yajadi Pratyaha. So by Swadishva Sarvanamasthane, Angam gets the Padasanya, Remember one more thing, is the Angam which gets the Padasanya or Bhasanya. Keep that clear in your mind. So becomes Shad plus now we can use the Shtunashtuhu. So we get the Shtutam, the Nakara becomes Nakaraha. Now let's also refresh our memory about 8442. 8442 was saying that Napadanta Toranam. Napadanta Toho. If you Padanta Tavarga Sichet, if you have Padanta Tavarga, Tena Shtutam Nabhavati. You cannot do Shtutam. So here we do have that. We have the Shad plus Nam. As we said, we got the Padasanya for this by 1417, Swadishva Sarvanamasthane. And then, so then how can we use the Shtunashtu? Sutram says Anam. So from this prohibition, this is the Nam is excluded from that. From this prohibition, the term Nam is excluded. So Napadanta Choho Anam. Napadanta Toranam. So this we have, in 8442, Napadanta Toranam this is a na. When you see the na in a sutram, it's a Nisheda sutram. It's going to stop Stunashtuho, but it says Anam. So Padanta Vargat Uttarasya Stoho Shtuttam na bhavati Nam iti etat varjayatva. Nam iti etat varjayatva. So basically this prohibition does not apply when Nam follows. So that's why we can do Shtuttam, make it Shan Nam. Okay. Now, sorry, we got Shad plus Nam. Just we got Shad plus Nam so far. We need one more step, which is the Yaronu Nasike no Nasikova. Yaronu Nasike no Nasikova. And there is a Vardikam on that, which is the Pratyaya Bhashayam Nityam. Pratyaya Bhashayam Nityam. So 8445 says Yaronu Nasike no Nasikova. Yaronu Nasike no Nasikova. So when you have a Yar letter, for the Anunasika, the Panchamarana, when you have the Yar, takes Anunasika Adeshaha. What do we have right now? We have Shad, the Nam. The Dakara will become the Pancham Varna, become Shan, Nam. And this is not a Vaikalpikam Karyam Vikalpa Nasti, because there's a Vartikam on that, which says that, because the Sutram actually says Va. But the Vartikam says that Pratye Bhasha Nityam. So in Bhasha means not mantra, not in Vedas, in the regular language, classical language. When we have a Pratyaya following, then this Anunasika Adeshaha in place of here is Nityam. Pratyaya Bhashayam Nitya Vachanam Kartavyam. So right now we do have a Pratyaya following, which is Nam. So we have to apply the Anunasika Adeshaha Shannam. One more time, Shash plus Am we had, Nut Agamaha, Shash Chaturbhascha, that gave the Padasanya by Swadeshvatra Namasthane. So then we got the Yalam Jashvante Shad, that Paschat Shtutvena, Shad plus Nam, and because of the Nishedha, the Napadanta Toranam, only said Anam. This Nishedha does not apply here. Shtutvam can be done. Finally, Yarasthane, we got the, in the place of this Dakara, Yaraha, Anunasike, Anunasike, Anunasikova, Pratyaya Bhashayam Nityam. The Pratyaya, of course, we're talking Bhashayam, we're not talking about the Vedika Prakriya right now. So you get the Nityam, Anunasikadishaha, Shannam. Shash plus Sup, again Padasanya over here, Jalam Jashvante should be now second nature for you by now. And then only thing here, you get the Dhut Agamaha. Does see Dhut. Does see Dhut. I hope you are following some of this. Does see Dhut. So I hope all of you are in track with the website. You are making use of it. If you notice any typos, anything, of course, let us know. The Sutram does see Dhut. We already used that Sutram. If you look at the our Sutra Suchi will have that. Does see Dhut. So we are using that right now. The Sutra number is 8329. Does see Dhut. Does see Dhut. Let's see if you can find it. 8329. Does see Dhut. What does Sutram say? That Sakara following a Dakaraha is a Dhut Agama optionally. Dhut. So when we had the Pratipikam Leh, we did that a long time ago, but a few months ago maybe. And then we had the two forms, Lit Su, Litit Su. We got the two forms like that. So when, again, one more time, does see Dhut, when you have a Dakara, followed by the Sakaraha, then this Sakara will take the Dhut Agamaha optionally. Of course, as usual, Agamaha means you always have to think of 1146, 1147, Adyantau Takitau, as well as Midacho Nitya Taraha, in this case, Adyantau Takitau. This Dakara will become the Adya Vajavaha, the beginning member of the Su. We get two forms, Shat Hisu and Shat Su. Of course, when Shat Su comes, you have to just do the Kharicha, becomes Shat Su. When you have Shat Su, in that case, you'll do Kharicha two times. First, this Dakara will become a Takara by Kharicha, and then this Dakara becomes Takara by Kharicha. So basically, it goes to the number one consonant, number one in the Vargaha. So we get Shat Su and Shat Su. Shat Su. This Dhut Agam optionally does see Dhut. Does see Dhut. So any new Sutram, repeat 5, 10, 15, 20, 100 times. Does see Dhut. That's the best thing that you can do, please. Repeat the Sutram. Does see Dhut. So you know exactly. So this only comes in the context of Dakara, followed by Sakara. It has a small domain. So these are Sutram which are hard to remember. These are a little bit hard to remember because they don't occur that often. It's a small domain. So Sutra like Iko and Achi are very easy to remember because they occur all the time. In both these cases, remember that Napadanta Toranam. Because here we do have the Sakaraha. So then why not apply Shtunashtuhu? We just saw the initial Napadanta Toranam. If you have Padanta Tavargaha, in following that, Shtutvam cannot be done. So that is why Panini is, one thing to remember, just to give some details to you, is that when Panini does an Agamaha, he has a choice. He can make it the Adya Vajavaha of the Pararupasya, of the following element. He can also make it as the Antya Vajavaha of the Purva Shabdasya. we can make it so he has a choice. Should I put the agamaha at the end of the preceding element or at the beginning of the following element? When the agama comes in between like that, so now you see how beautifully he has done this, is that he wants to avoid the shtuttam over here. And he knows the nisheda is na padanta toranam. If you had done the duk agamaha to this side, shat, then this dakara would have caused shtuttam over here. So tena anishtam rupam syad. It would have been the incorrect form. So this just a glimpse of Panini's genius over here is that how carefully he chooses, where to put the agamaha. So it is not a trivial thing. So because he wants to keep the nisheda of napadan toranam, the dut agama right hand side. So stuttam is stopped. We get the form shatsu and shatsu by the dasti dut. Now we talk about sakanta pratipadikam vedas. Here also there are no new rules. There are no new rules. So look at that. We did three pratipadikani. We had three pratipadikam where we applied no new rules. So now you know. We have gone a little bit fast. I know some people are going too fast, but you have a lot of chance to practice now. Lot of chance. So again, no new rules required here. Vedas. Vedas means Chaturmukha Brahma. He is, Brahmaji. So Vedas is usual rules apply suavjas, etc. This should be now second nature for you. And then you do the Anubandha Lopaha by Upadeshadana Nasika It, and then we get the sutram which is Atvasantasya Chadhatoho. Atvasantasya Chadhatoho. We have seen this sutram before because we did word like Bhagavat, Dhimat, etc. We used that when the Atu was falling. Now we got the As falling. So even though we have used this sutram before, we used one part of the sutram. We did not use the As part of it so far. Atvasantasya Chadhatoho. Atvasantasya Chadhatoho. Atvasantasya Chadhatoho. Atvasantasya Chadhatoho. Keep on repeating. Atvasantasya Chadhatoho. Now, so as I said to you before, is that you don't have to take the entire sutram in one shot. You can look at the sutram in 2 or 3 steps. Because when you studied Atvasantasya Chadhatoho last time, we only were interested in the Atu part of it last time. Word like Dhimat, word like Bhagavat, etc. We had the, Matu Pratyaha. So there we did only the Atu interested us at that time. But now we're going to look at the Asanta. Atu Asantasya Chadhatoho. So what are we going to do now? So same sutram, but different part of the same sutram, which is Vedas plus Su. We get Vedas. We have the Asanta. Asanta Mangam here. And then this As is from the Pratyaya, not from the Dhatu. So this Asantasya, and we get the Upadadikha. What is 6-4, 64? Again, any sutram, repeat the sutram a few times, then do the Padacheda if you can, and then look at the Vritti in Sanskritam. I read that. So 6-4-14, let's look at it. Atvasantasya Chadhatoho says that Atu As iti evam antasya adhatoh upadhayaha sau asambuddhav sau. Asambuddhav sau. Anuvritti is of asambuddhav sau is coming down because asambuddhav is coming down and sau is coming down. So only when the sambuddhi bhinna supratyaha, when that follows, then upadadhigha. Because of course, I hope many of you had the book by Shri Isha Vasu, which is a very nice book. It is in English. He has done a very good job of translating the entire Ashtadhyayi as well as Siddhanta Kaumudi. A little bit expensive, but it is worth having, I think. You can look at the meaning in English of any sutram in the Ashtadhyayi order and in the Siddhanta Kaumudi order. So, okay. It's the book it's available from Motilal Banarasidas. I think it's by Shri Isha Chandra Vasu. Siddhanta Kaumudi in 2 volumes and also the Ashtadhyayi in 2 volumes. So for those who want to look at the English meaning, which is nothing wrong with that in the beginning, you can look at it. It's basically like an English Kashika and an English Siddhanta Kaumudi. So in the beginning, it is very good. So you can get some confidence. So here we have the Asantam Angam, and then you also have the yes.
If you may, what is the Vyapatti of Vedas?
Vedas. Okay, let's look at the Vyapatti of Vedas, because this Pratyaya is Unadi Pratyaya is being used here. Unadi Pratyaya is being used, and Dhatu is Dha is being used here. So this dhatu dha, which
Dhatu is dha, is it? And I thought it may have something to do with it, but it is dha.
No, it's upasarga v with the dhatu dha. So it is the dudhai dharana poshana yoho, and then it becomes, it's some exceptional thing. There's an adesh of Veda being done for it, and the pratyaya asi is coming in. So it's a vidhata. Vidha is to ordain, the ordainer, one who ordains. Vidha. So it's that V has become Veda. Special Veda has come in there, but it's basically dhatu V plus dha.
How did he end up? Vidhi also denotes Brahma.
Vidhi also. But Vidhi again is a different noun. That is formed. Vidhi is formed by the sutram. Upasarge ghokihi. Vidhi is formed by the sutram. That's a regular form in the Ashtadhyayi itself. Vidhi is formed by 3392. But Vedas is formed by the Unadi Sutram. So it's a little bit exceptional. So same dhatu upasarga combination, correct. But okay, so we have what we have here is that we have upada dirgha become Vedhas. This is the sutram again. Atvasantasya cha dhatoh. This is the only sutram required here. In declining Vedas, there's only one sutram required, which is special, which is because this Vedas ends in as. We have used sutram before for when we had terms ending in atu, like dhimat, balavat, bhagavat, etc. Atvasantasya cha dhatoh is only one single sutram. Everything else is very, very straightforward, very simple rules. So only form vedhaha. Shesham sarvam samanyam. Everything else is samanyam. So we got upada dirgha we have. Of course, then halni avyo dirgha suti she pruktam. Like this should be now very easy for you. Chutta visargo vedhaha. Okay. Now we can go to the remaining of this, but there's no special rule. When sambuddhi follows, because of it was asambuddha in 6.4.14, we cannot apply 6.4.14 when sambuddhi follows. So we get the form, apply the same steps except no upada dirgha. So sarvam samanyam, as usual, upadeshanuna chikayit, halni abyo dirgha suti se pruktamal, prutta visargau, he vedha. He vedha. So when you have the pratyaya, ajadi pratyayas, there's nothing special at all. Vedas plus au becomes vedasav. Then becomes vedasam, out vedasav, shas vedasaha, ta vedasa, vedase, vedasaha. Nothing special, just joined together. That's all, nothing else. So, because we don't have anywhere this Vedas getting the padasanya. Because when we have the sarvanama pratyaya falling, of course we can apply 1470 because swadishva sarvanamasthane, sarvanamasthane. The remaining places with pratyaya ajadi, because of yachibham, it is a bhasanyas. We cannot do sasaju shoru inside over here. We just join together vedasam, vedasi, etc. Now, when you have the haladi pratyaya, now the angam will have the padasanya by the swadishva sarvanamasthane. Again, I cannot emphasize to you the importance of this 1417, 1418, because you go two completely different routes. One takes you to the padasyadhikara in 8.1, 8.116 onwards. One takes you to the bhasyadhikara from 6.129 onwards. So let's split the computer program into two. So this is very important, is this junction of 1417, 1418. You take a different road, from here. So vedho bhyam. Of course, this is once you do Vedas plus bhyam, it is like namo narayanaya, namas plus narayanaya, simple sandhikaryam, just like namas plus padasanya. Here also Vedas plus bhyam, get the padasanya, sasajusho ruho. Then of course upadesha sikait, then hashicha, which all of you should be known to you by now. Hashicha used many times. Adgunaha, vedobhyam, vedhobhyam, vedhobhi, vedhobhya. Vedas plus sup when we do, again, comes to the typo. This is the typo you have. Let me correct this typo. Let me correct this typo because sometime after class I forget to correct that. Because what we have is we have Vedas. This is taking you behind the scenes now. This is when we correct the typos. Okay, so Vedas. Vedas. Okay. Because I don't want to forget after. We're trying to keep everything as clean as we can. So I hope that if you notice any typos, do let us know, because all this can be corrected after the fact also. So there was a typo here. Let me. Okay, so we get Vedas plus sup, of course, as usual, Hanantyam, and then you get the Sasajasho Ruho, Visajanisya I mean, Kharabasana Visajaniya, Visajaniyasya Saha. Then Vashari, Vashari, because the shar is following, optionally it becomes Visarga, it becomes Sakara, optionally Visargaha, Vedha Su, Vedha Su. Now, this particular Nirashis, this is basically in the Gita. So this Vedas was again only one sutram. Atvasantasya chadhatoho asambuddho sau upadhaya dirgha. That's it. Everything else is samanyam. So now you know how it is so beautiful to learn the Paninian way. The entire Pratipadikam Vedas have only one rule in one form. Everything else you can just crank out using the usual rules. There's no point memorizing the Shabda Manjari at all. Okay. Now, Nirashis. Now, Nirashis comes in the Gita. Nirashis Chittatma. So, Nirashis. Let's look at the Gita. I think it might come in one or two places in Gita. Let's look at the Gita. Always keep the Gita at your fingertips as much as possible. Nirashi Chittatma. Chaktasara Parigraha. Nirashis. Okay. Nirashis. What's going to happen? Become Nirashir. Become Nirashir. Okay. Come in chapter 4. Nirashir Yata Chittatma. Nirashir Yata Chittatma. So 421 in Gita, and also coming in 610 in Gita. So actually also in 330. Nirashis. That's why I took this Pratipadikam Nirashis. It's come in Gita in three places. Because, I was a bit hesitant to do this because of the fact it's a compound word. It's a compound. It's a Bahuvri Samasaha. So Nirgataha. Ashishaha, Yasya, or Yasmat could be also maybe Saha. So one who has no hankerings, no longings, Nirashis. Look at the word Ashi, Nirashis. Look at the look at Apti dictionary for a second. Ashis. Okay, Ashis. Nirashis. There's also blessing. Acts of best. It's also wish or desires, So one who has no wish or desire, nirashis. Anyway, this is a compound word. The word now you should always ask, what is special about this Pratipadikam? Why do we need to take it separately? Asya Pratipadikasya kim vaishishtyam yena vishesha niyamaha apekshate. What is the special thing of Pratipadikam which requires special mention now? Why do we need to even mention this right now? Because we know all the usual rules, what we call as, the Samanya Niyamaha. So then let's look at what is special. Let's look at this Nirashis is formed with, don't worry about how this one is formed in too much detail right now. This is a Bahuvri compound. Firstly, you have to form the Pratipadikam Ashis. Pratipadikam Ashis. To form the Pratipadikam Ashis, and now you're going to see what is special. It is required to use the Dhatu Shas. Dhatu Shas is used. So now what's going to happen is that Sakara at the end of Ashis is the Sakara of a Dhatu. There's a Vatikam here. Vatikam here is that, it says that, Kriprattaye tu tasyapi bhavati iti vaktavyam Ashi. So basically what happens is that this Ashis of the Shas takes the Pratyaya quip, and when that quip Pratyaya comes, it becomes, the Shas becomes Shis by 6434. That's again, don't worry about the details right now, because that is going to be seen to later. So, but we do need to know that the Sakara in Ashis is a Dhatoho Sakara. That's the important thing. That's why we're taking this one separately. Is that the word Ashis is formed, the Dhatu Shas, and the ending Sakaraha is not a Pratyaya Sakaraha. It's a Dhatoho Sakaraha. So Dhatu Shas takes it off, the Shas takes the Pratyaya quip, and the Shas takes the Ikara Adesha in place of the Akara, becomes Ashis. So that's all you need to know right now. So don't worry about 6434. It's not in the document right now. So this is all in the only the background. Okay, so then how does that matter to us? Let's see how it matters. When you do this Pratyaya Su, of course, as usual, you apply Su of just, then Upadeshuna Nasiket, Halni Abyo Dirga Suti Shepraktam Hal. I hope by this time you heard this about 1,000 times. You will hear it again, again, and again, coming to examples to every day. So we then do get the Padasanya by Suptingantam Padam. Suptingantam Padam and Pratyaya Lope, Pratyaya Lakshanam, Pratyaya Lope, pratyaya lakshanam. The supratyaya has entirely gone away, it has taken lopaha, but pratyaya lope, pratyaya lakshanam. It is a lakshanam behind. So this form nirashis can be considered to be a subantam. Subantam rupam tena padasanya jayate. Padasanya. And after that, then you can get sasajusho rupa, which is well known to you. And then we can get now the special thing. So far everything was samanyam. Sarvam samanyam, etavat paryantam. Everything was samanyam. But now what we got is that we got this dirghaha. Vorupadhaya dirghaha. That's the reason why. So this is the reason why we took this pratipadikam, because of the fact that the ending sakaraha was sakara of dhatuhu. Of course, sakara became took a ru adesha with sasajusho ruhu, and that triggers 8276. The next sutram for today, 8276. What does that say? Again, this sutram has a bigger domain. Okay, so some of these rules are going to be coming in different contexts later on, so you get a chance to practice that. So today is you're hearing for the first time today, and so don't worry if you don't retain it immediately. You're going to get plenty of chance to practice that. Rvor upadhaya, rvor. It's hard to pronounce, rvor. So it's repa and vakaraha. Rvor upadhaya dirgha ikaha. So repa vantasya, repantasya vakarantasya dhatoho upadhayaha dirgho syat padanteo. Only padanteo. One more time is that if you have a repanta dhatu or a vakaranta dhatu, and which is now the repa or vaka is padanta, then in that case upadha takes dirghaha. Rvorupadhaya. It's a little bit hard to pronounce because the refa is coming first. Rvorupadhaya dirgha. Dirgha ikaha. So it says that now the penultimate letter takes dirgha. So now the ik letter will take dirgha. Ik. Upadhaya ikaha. So when we have nirashis plus su, we got the padasanya with pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam suptingantam padam, become nirashir. Nirashir. Become nirashihi, of course, by the karavasana visajaniyaha. So one more time, the only thing special for this pratipatikam is that the sakara is the sakara of a dhatu shas. The shas became shis by a vartikam, by the sutram I should say, sutram 16434 with the vartikam on it. Don't worry about that for the details right now. And then we have to use this rvorupadhaya dirgha ikaha becomes nirash. So this is what's coming in the Gita. Coming in the Gita, nirashihi. Yes, the prathama ekavachanam nirashihi. So then we get this from nirashihi. So that's the prathama ekavachanam. Remaining, that's the only new rule really required over here. Well, we have maybe one more rule over here. That's really a special rule. Then when we take the pratyaya out, this only come when padante. Only when it is padante. Now there's one small detail over here. Is that how come this dhatu is, because we got a pratipadikam, don't we? We have a pratipadikam right now. We don't have a dhatu because it's nirashis. We add the pratyaya quip. We got the pratipadikam. So, but what happens is that there is a paribhasha which says that paribhasha. What is paribhasha? Paribhasha is a kind of a rule of guidance. It helps us to interpret other rules. It doesn't do any vidhi, doesn't prescribe any sanya. It only tells us how to use other rules. How to use other rules. Now, some of these paribhasha sutrani are in the Ashtadhyaya itself. Of course, like alontyasya, etc. Sthanyantra tamaha. These are paribhasha sutras. How to use other rules. But some of them have to be interpreted from what Panini said. And of course, that's where a lot of the PhDs spend their time, is how to get the paribhashas. What did Panini mean? How does Panini want us to use his engine? So that this like a user's manual, like a user's guide to the Ashtadhyaya. If you have, in that user's guide to the Ashtadhyaya, you will have these set of instructions called paribhasha. How to use this machine, how to use this Ashtadhyaya engine. That's the paribhasha. There's a paribhasha which says that this quibbantaha, if I think quinnantaha, vijjantascha, dhatutvam na jahati. Dhatutvam jahati. Means if you add a pratyaya quip or a quin or wij, which is basically a zero, you take sarvapahar lopaha. Then dhatutvam na jahati. The dhatutvam is not lost. Here we had dhatu, a plus shas, that became a plus shis by 6434. Again, don't worry about the details right now. But the important thing is that the dhatutvam is not lost. The sakara is still a dhatoh sakara. Okay, so that's so you'll be wondering how are we applying this 8276. It requires dhatoh sakara. So dhatu nasti prajpadikam asya. So there's a paribhasha for that. Okay, that's just a side detail for you. Okay, when nirashis plus when we do nirashishav. Now the question here is that, how can we do the murdhanya adesha over here? Normally what do we use? We use 8359 adesha pratyayoho. Adesha pratyayoho. So Panini clearly said that to get the murdhanya adesha, the sakara has to be an adesha, a substitute, or it has to be a pratyaya avayavaha. Pratyaya avayavaha. Pratyaya avayavaha. It has to be a part of a pratyaya, like rameshu. Rameshu, that sakara is part of the avayavaha. It's a part of the pratyaya sup. So that's why only it can take the, like when you say, if you take a word like musala. Now musala, then why did the sakara not become mudhan shakara there also by adesha pratyayoho? Because musala, when you take the ukara, like dhusara, a word like dhusaram. Dhu is adjective, I think means like dusty, I think. So dhusara. So dhusara, why didn't that sakara become mudhan shakara there also? Because that is not an adesha or a part of pratyaya. So adesha pratyayoho cannot, just because you have an in letter in preceding that or kavarga, does not mean that every sakara become mudhan shakara. Because of adesha pratyayoho, you always have to check that the sakara is either an adesha or part of a pratyaya, pratyavayavaha. So in this case it is not. We just went through this whole thing, how this sakara is a dhatoh sakara. So then how can we make it nirashishav? That's the next sutram. Next means next after adesha pratyayoho. After the sutram adesha pratyayoho comes the next sutram, which says that shasi vasi ghasinancha. Shasi vasi ghasinancha. For these three dhatus, for the dhatu shas, vas and ghas, their sakara can also become a murdhanya adesh. Take the murdhanya shakara adesha nimitte sati, when you have the end of the kavarga preceding. Then, so not only adesha pratyayoho, but anantarena sutrena, with the next sutram, shasi vasi ghasina mityapi dhatunam sakarasya sthane murdhanya shakadesha bhavati in koho. This is the next sutram for today, which is shasi vasi ghasinam cha. Again, as I mentioned to you, if you know the basic rules well, then you can ask the next question and then try to understand, find the next rule. So whatever small rules that you know, try to know them as well as you can. Nissandeham jnanam syat. Yadyapi alpam bhavet, nissandeham syat. Even if it is small, even if you know one sutram iko and achi, know it very well. Then nobody can shake you on that. That now I know this well. When ik is there, ach follows, yannadesha. I mean nothing else. Then you know one sutram well, then you can take one more. Of course, it will not be so slow all the time. After you get some practice, you build up maybe 50, 60, 70 rules slowly, maybe even if it takes you a year. Now you got a good ammunition, which is very sure. You're very sure of these. The key is to be very sure. Of course, there will be some which you learned new. You can be sure immediately of those. But the ones that you can be sure, those are the ones which are going to give you the most benefit. Because they are the ones which you can apply fearlessly and then get the next sutram that you need. So here, if you know adesha pratyayoho, you know the sakara is not an adesha or a pratyavayavaha, and how was shattam done here? You can ask that question confidently. Even if you look at the, not to waste any time, if you look at the Vyakaranam Mahabhashyam, that's how it works. That's exactly how it works. Is they keep on asking these questions. Either how come it is this? How come it is not that? The way it should not be this. It conflicts with that. It should be like that. No, it should not be like that. That's the Mahabhashyam. That's how it goes. You can do the same thing at our level. We can say, adesha pratyayoho cannot be applied here. So we need 8360, shasi vasi ghasinancha. The sakara of shas, vas, and ghas takes the murdhanya adesha in koha anvrutti is coming. You need the nimittam has to be there. Of course, nimittam has to be there. There has to be a cause for it, which is the in pratyahara, in letter or the kavarkaha. So that's the other thing over this to become nirashishav. Same thing, nirashis plus just nirashishaha, nirashisham, nirashishav. All the same places. Shasi vasigasinancha, shasi vasigasinancha, shasi vasigasinancha, shasi vasigasinancha, shasi vasigasinancha. 8360 immediately after adishapatyaho. Now when you get the shaspatyaha, there's no padasanya, there's only bhasanya, no question of applying any vorupadha dirgha. So then we get, so nirashis sakara will not get any ru adesha, anything like that. So there's no question of vorupadha dirgha anyway. So we just made the same nirashishaha, same rules. Again, shasi vasigasinancha iti murtanya shakadeshaha. Then when the ajadis, remaining ajadis, same thing, nirashisha, nirashishaya, nirashishaha. So puravat sarvatra murtanya adeshaha, shasi vasigasinabhidi sutrena. In haladi pratyaya, when you have, now again padasanya. Again, Swadish Sarvanamastane, our old friend, Swadishva Sarvanamastane, Padasanya means you have to go to Padasyadhikara, Sasujusho, Ruho, Anubandha Lope, Repha, and then you can do Vorupadhar, Dirgha, Dirgha Ikaha, Vorupadhaya, so Rephar, so Rephanta, Vakaranta Dhatu Sichet, Padanta Rephatha, Vakara Sichet, Tasya Ikaha, Upadhaya, Dirgha. So we do everything is satisfied here. The sakara of this shis, nirashis came from the dhatu shas, got the padasanya where swadishva sarvanamastane, sasujusho ruho, anubandha lope repha. So now you have a rephanta dhatu, which is also padanta. Here the repha is so the preceding upadha ikara, in this case like dirgha, it's also an ik letter. Always check all the conditions. Always check all the conditions. Make sure they are satisfied. Make sure you have an ik letter there. Make sure the dhatu's repha. Make sure it's padantam. So everything, make sure of that. Nirashir bhyam, same thing when we do, we get nirashir bhihi, nirashir bhyaha, now when you get the pratyaya sup, of course halantyam, here also by swadishva sarvanamastane padasanya sasujusho ruhu anubandha lope repha. Then we can apply vorupadha dirgha, dirgha ikaha. So nirashir plus su, and then we do the karavasana visajaniya. Nothing special, of course. I hope that's by now it's second nature for you. Nirashihi plus su, nirashis plus su. What is this? This is the washari. When you have a shar following, vikalpena will be a sakara, which also stay visargaha. So you get the like Namah Shivaya, right? Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. So nirashis, su. Now, for doing the mudhanya adeshaha, we do have the ikara in letter. We do have the sakara over here. And now, what the question is, how can we do the mudhanya? Because the vyavadhanam asya, vyavadhanam. There's an intervening visarga here. In this case, intervening sakara is there. So what do we do now? What do we do? For that we need 8358, next sutram for today. So 8358. Again, looking at this section in detail today. 8358. Num visarjaniya shar vyavaye pi. Vyavaya means intervention. When there is a intervening num or a visarjaniya or a shar, of course, sa. So in that case, they can also be allowed to intervene singly, only singly. Small difference between this sutram and the sutram which we use all the time for nattam is the atkupanyavapi. In that case, we have yathasambhavam militvapi. So these could intervene in any combination, in like any combination for intervene. But here, they can only intervene singly. Only one of these can intervene, which is the num or the visarjaniya or the shar. So that's sutram for today, which is the next one. Again, this is not really very fundamental sutram, but we do need to get the form correct. So etaihi pratyekam yavadhane api inkubhyam parasya sasya mudhanyayasya syat. So sakara following an in letter or kavarga gets the mudhanya adeshaha. even when the num or the visarga or shar intervene. So we had nirashihi plus su. This yikara is the end. We do have the sakara following. This sakara is an adesha sakara. Sorry, pratyavayavaha. Excuse me, pratyavayavaha. We have to check that to apply the adesha pratyayoho. Everything is satisfied. Parantu vyavadhanam asti. So visargasya vyavadhanam asti. Visarga vyavadhanam over here. So that's what the 8358 does for us now. We say that we can do the mudanya adesha even in spite of that vyavadhanam of the visarga. Nirashis, nirashisu. So in both this form, what we get is that, let's go back to this one over here. So we get the nirashi, nirashi, shu, nirashi, shu. So this is the mudanya which could be done in spite of the vyavadhanam of the visarga by the sutram num visarjaniya shar vyavayepi, num visarjaniya shar vyavayepi, num visarjaniya shar vyavayepi, which is this 8358, num visarjaniya shar vyavayepi. Please repeat as many times as you can. I cannot tell you, I cannot emphasize that more. Num visarjaniya shar vyavayepi. Even if you know the form, repeat the sutram. It will be useful for you to get your confidence. The sutram may be used in other places. And, as I said, ultimately, you have to master the Ashtadhyayi. If you really want to become, get comfortable and learn, have solid knowledge, firm knowledge, nisandeham jnanam, then you have to come to the Ashtadhyayi. Okay. So same thing here. What happens here? We do the same thing. First we make, because here we have the intermission sakara. Remember we did the vashari. So pakshe visarga, pakshe sakara. So here also it's a shar letter, sar. So we can still, even in this case, make the mudanya adesha nirashis shu, and then nirashis shu, and then what do we do? Here we do the 8360 is what is doing. Let's see, 8360, 8360, which is the shasi vasi ghasinancha, shasi vasi ghasinancha, shasi vasi ghasinancha. So here we got the nirashishu, nirashishu, nirashishu. So that was the only special thing. Again, this pratipadikam actually is not the pratipadikam ashis is really a sealing of pratipadikam. We kind of stole it here. We stole it here because of the fact that we wanted to use this sutram. So this will actually come in the sealing of pratyaya. So this is not really belong to this section, but we used it because actually I think we got one wrong step here. Okay, let me change this. This is a mistake over here. This is a mistake because what happened here was that we got this one. I think this one is wrong. This 8360 should be actually Stunashtu. What do you think, Ravi? Stunashtu over here. Ravi, are you there?
Yes, Satish, we should apply Stunashtu, I think.
I think Stunashtu, right? Okay. Let me correct that right now. Let me not leave a mistake in the document. So what happens is that this sakara of the pratyaya soup becomes shakara. After that, we have to use Stunashtu. 8441. It's taking you behind the scenes to edit the document because I don't want to leave any errors as far as possible. So trying to stay very, very clear of errors as much as we can, So, okay. So one more time, in the sakara pakshe, when we have nirashis plus su, this sakara of su becomes a shu by adesha pratyayoho using 8358, which is num visarjaniya shar vyavayepi, and then stunashtuhu. Stunashtuhu makes it into nirashishu. Okay. So that's what the special thing over here. Now the what happens is that the only special thing about this pratipadikam, one more time, the sakara. Yes.
Adesha pratyayoho is 8359 or 59?
It's 59, but we are using really 58 along with 59 we'll be using.
Okay.
So 58, 59 we're using. So that's what's happening. Okay, now the pratipadikam vidvas. Now this comes in, of course, in the Gita, of course. Vidvan yukta samacharan. Vidvan comes in Gita. It's a very well-known word. Now the thing about this word, which many people may not know, is that this really is a vartamani kridanta rupam. Vartamani kridantaha. It's a present participle. Unlike if you say well like panditaha. The panditaha is is a noun. It is not maybe even adjective maybe, but it is not. You cannot take an object. You cannot take an object. You cannot say like Vyakaranam panditaha. You can say Vyakarane panditaha, but not Vyakaranam panditaha. Can you? You cannot, because one who is knowing Vyakaranam is expert. You can say Vyakarane. In the matter of grammar, he's an expert. He's a scholar. But here you can say Vyakaranam vidvan. Vyakaranam, that's not the topic of today, but like a word like Pashyan. So this has the status of it is a Shatranta Shabdaha. It's ending in the Pratyaya Shatru. Again, that's not our detail for today, but understand that this Pratipadikam Vidvas, when used in the sentence, is used in the same manner as a Pratipadikam like Gachat or Pashyat or Drishyat, I'm sorry, not Drishyat, that's the wrong form, excuse me. This is like Gachat or, Pashyat or, Pathat. So it's like Pustakam Pathan, studying a book, like, she says Shobham Pashyan, looking at the beauty. Same thing here, Vyakaranam Vidvan, one who is knowing Vyakaranam. Anyway, for today, it is not important. Today, the only thing important for us right now is that this Pratipadikam Vidvas was formed from the dhatu vid, in the second gana vid jnane, which is in the dhatu is in 4 or 5 ganas, but the one that we are using is the one in jnane, which is the adadi ganaha. So this comes in many ganas. It can be with the labhe, like vindati, and Gita itself we have in 2-3 ganas. Even in Gita you have, but here we are using like vidyate. You have the form vidyate, form vindati, form vetti. So this is the one which you're using from the second gana, which is called jnane, and of course they have different it letters. So with jnane, I think let me double check that. I think the it letter here is only with jnane.
So, it is vidajnane, Satish.
Vidajnane. One thing good about Ravi, always gives one thing I learned from Ravi is the dhatu part and nirdesh, artha nirdesh and dhatu part. Vidajnane. I was kind of sloppy about that, but now thanks Ravi. So vidajnane. So it gave me some jnanam. Every class and every student teaches me at least something. Every single class, every single student, every single class, every single student. Always something to learn. Always something to learn. Okay, anyway. So we got Vidvas plus Su. So what happened was Vidvas dhatu Vida jnane was taken from the Adadi Ganaha. Again, don't worry about the details right now. Only thing is that Shatru Pratyaya was used. This took the Adesh of Vasu Adeshaha. This sutra is only for a reference right now. This is not in Sutra Suchi, because this is not important right now. But this Shatru Pratyaya took the Vasu Adeshaha. One thing also I want to mention to you, only in passing mention is that this steps that we are going to see today for declining with vas will be the same steps that are required for declining a word ending in the kwasu pratyaya. Pratyaya kwasu. The pratyaya kwasu is a perfect participle, which is not the topic of today, but I want to mention that in passing because the subandha prakriya will be the same. The same steps you have to follow for like a word like jagmivas, upeyivas. Now, technically speaking, Panini allows only very few forms. The pratyaya kwasu can be used in bhashayam, but in the Kalidasa or Bhagavata Puranam, they will use many of them. If you have a word like jagmivas, those also will have to use similar steps what we're using now. So this one, pratyaya kwasu, this kwasuscha, will give the form like upeyivas, jagmivas, so all these forms decline the same. I'm sorry? Was it Ravi?
Tasthivas.
Tasthivas. So yeah, tasthivas. So same. I just want to mention in passing that you will now, when you learn about vidvas, you can use the same knowledge to do apply to those also. So what's special about this now? Again, ask the question, what is special about this? Why do we need this to look at it separately? Can we not use the usual rules that we have? Let's see what is special. So first of all, it's an ugit. Ugit, because Shatru Pratyaya has uk as an it. In fact, so does Vasu Adeshaha. So it's an ugit. So when we do the usual rules, we applicate the Pratyaya Su and use the Anubandha Lopaha. Now, because ugit, of course, by this time, if you're following all the examples, the ugita cham savanama sthane dhatoho numagamaha. Ugita cham savanama sthane dhatoho. Ugidacham Sarvanamasthani Dhatu. 7170, which of course we have used many times when you read a word like Dhimat, you do a word like Pachat or Gachat. Ugidacham Sarvanamasthani Dhatu, Ugit, and Dhatu Anchu also we looked at. So when we have a Sarvanamasthana Pratyaya following, which is, an Adhato is fine. You don't have that right now because the Ugit is coming from the Pratyaya Shatru over here. So the Ugit is not from Dhatu Ugit. So then we can use the Numagamaha comes, of course, as usual, Anubandha Lopaha, Upadesha Nunasika is Ilit Halantyam, Viduchvantyat Paraha, the placement of an Agamaha. So always remember Agamaha means immediately flash in your mind. 1146, 1147, 1146, 47. Adyanta Utakito, Viduchvantyat Paraha, Vidachvantyat Paraha. So here, Vidachvantyat Paraha, nothing new for you. Put after the last vowel in the term, become Vidvan Sa. Now comes Santamahata Sanyogasya. Now, as I said to you before, we use this sutra when we declined Mahat. Declined Mahat, we did use this sutra. But that was a special mention of the word Mahat in that sutra. Santamahata Sanyogasya. But now we have a Santa Sanyogaha. Santa Sanyogaha, which is Upada is Nakara. So it is a Nakara Sakara Sanyogaha. Santamahata Sanyogasya, Santamahata Sanyogasya, Santamahata Sanyogasya, 6, 4, 10. Santamahata Sanyogasya, 6, 4, 10. And Sakarantasya Sanyogasya, Yaha Nakaraha. It is Sakaranta Sanyogaha, which has a Nakara. Of course, the ending should be Sakara, then the preceding should be Nakaraha. Mahatasya, which you already, this one you already used. Tasya Upadhaya Dirgha Bhavati, Sarvanamasthani Prataha, Asambuddha. Asambuddha. Of course, you can see in 6.4, you know the anuvrittis by now also. I think I hope by this time you're getting into your kind of usage, into your familiarity with the Ashtaja a little bit more. So here you know Sarvanamasthani Asambuddha, which also we have used. So Santamata Sanyoga come below that. So we use this for the word Mahat. Now we use for the Santa Sanyoga, which as the Nakara is as the prior element. So now we get Vidvan Sa, this Upada of that Nakara. So Sa, Na, and the prior vowel, Santama Sanyoga, becomes Dirgha. So become Vidvan Sa. And then of course after that you apply usual Halni Abhyo Dirgha Suti Shya Praptam Hal, and then Sanyogantasya Lopaha. After that you cannot use Nalopa Pralibadikantasya because the Sanyogantasya Lopa is Asiddha in the eyes of that, which is all nothing new for your thought. The only thing was that this 6, 4, 10, which we already used for the word Mahat, now using it for this Santa Sanyogaha. Vidvan Sa, Vidvan, Vidvan Ha. Now, and of course the Numa Agamaha because the Ugit. Now what happens when you have Sambuddhi? Sambuddhi, same steps, except that we cannot do the Upada Dirgha because Asambuddhau. Sarvanamasthane Cha Sambuddhau, Asambuddhau. So all the same steps except no Dirgha Adesha, He Vidvan. Okay, same steps. Now, this, of course, in this case, one more thing mentioned in passing is that the Nakara in Sambuddhi, anyway, there is no Nakar Lopa because of 8 to 8, Nani Sambuddhyoho. So here, not only is the Sanyogantasya Lopa Siddha, on top of that, even if it was Siddha, you could not do Nakara Lopaha because of 8 to 8, Nani Sambuddhyoho. So on both counts, we cannot do Nakara Lopa over here. Now, with Vas plus Au, with similar Numagamaha, Vidasham Sarvanamasthani Dhatoha, then we do the Santamata Sanyogasya, Upada Dirgha. Only thing, last step over here is, of course, Nascha Padantasya Jali. Nascha Padantasya Jali. Again, you see how the Sandhi rules are very, very fundamental to us, very fundamental. Vidvan So. Vidvan So. It's a dual form. Now, similarly, in just Pratyaya, when you have Sarvanamasthana Pratyaya following, you are going to get this Vidisham Sarvanamasthani Dhatoho, and also this one, which is the Santamata Sanyogasya, except in Sambuddhi you cannot do this, Upada Dirgha. Otherwise, the same two steps, Vidvan Shaha, Vidvan Sam, Vidvan Shaw. Now comes the special rule, and now you see why we need this to mention these words separately. Nangam gets the bhasanya. Between the pratyaya shas, of course, shas does not have sarvanamastana sanya because of the fact that sudana pumsakasya. So sut, after that, shas does not have sarvanamastana sanya. That's the bhas sanya of yachibham. So because of shas is asarvanamastani parataha and yachibham, so we have the anubandha lope, pratyaya is as, so we get the bhas sanya. Now what's happened, we get in the, so this is again the same thing. Bhas sanya means you call the subroutine from 64129, which is the bhasyadikaraha. You recall a subroutine, the bhasyadikaraha. So we have to find a sutram there, which is coming in 64131. 64131, which says vasos samprasaranam, which you have the, if you have a angam ending in vasu, that takes samprasaranam. If it has the bhasanya, Now here what are we having? We had, of course, we had the vasu adesha already we saw back here, how by this sutram 7136 we got the vasu adesha. So now we do have the bhasanya, yachibham, vaso samprasaranam. Now which is what we have? We have the vidvas is the angam, vidvas. Now which is, we have a vakara dvayam, dvo vakaro. The vakara in V, the vakara in vasu. Which one do we take? Now remember the sutram, na samprasarane samprasaranam. Na samprasarane samprasaranam. Which is that the 6137 says, when samprasaranam follows, then the prior yand will not take samprasaranam. Na samprasarane samprasaranam. We have seen this one before. So when we have two yand letters, then the latter one, the second one, the one closer to the pratyaya, that will take samprasaranam. The prior one will not take. We've seen this before. Now, how do we know that we see that Panini implies this? Because if you do the prior one first, then do the latter one, then the sutram na samprasarane samprasaranam, it is sutram anartham syat, anarthakam syat. It will have no prayojanam. The fact that Panini is saying don't do samprasaranam to the prior yand, if a samprasaranam follows, means he obviously implies that do samprasaranam only for that following yand, the latter yand, and not the earlier one. So when with vas, only this vakara will take samprasaranam, and then after that is done by na samprasarane samprasaranam, this prior one will not take samprasaranam. So with vas, we get now igyana samprasaranam, so in place of the yand put the ik letter, so we got with u, us, and of course the pratyaya is still there, shas, and then samprasarana cha, ekadesha, pura paryoho ekadesha is the pura rupam. After ami purvaha, next sutram is samprasarana cha. So this one will take the a. If you don't do that, you'll go back to the same form you had before with vas. So of course samprasarana cha become between this ukaraha and the akaraha. Get the pura paryoho ekadesha is the pura rupam ukaraha, becomes vidushaha. So this was a special sutram, vaso samprasaranam, when yangam gets the bhasanya, ending in vasu, then you take samprasaranam. Now you know why we took this as a special pratipadikam. So now similarly, we get vidusha, vidushe, same in all these places samprasaranam, then na samprasarane samprasaranam, samprasarana cha. So when you look at the sutram, igyana samprasaranam, always think in your mind, which is the na samprasarane samprasaranam. If there are two yan letters, only the latter one, the following one only will take samprasaranam, the prior one will not, and then samprasarana cha. Between the samprasaranam letter, which is the ik letter, followed by the following vowel pura paryoho, there will be an ekadesha, the purupam. What I'm talking about 61108, which is right after the ami purvaha, ami samprasarana, very important, which is an obvious sutram. Otherwise, you'll go back to the yan letter, samprasaranam vyartham syat. So achi samprasarana, achi parataha, pura paryoho, ekadesha, purupam. So nothing new in that. So vidushi, all these forms. Now when you have a haladi pratyaya, also in a sutram which you have used before, which is 8272. Sutram you have used before, but not for this purpose. The sutram you have used before, but not for this purpose. If you look at 8272, what do we have? Vasu, sramsu, dramsu, anaduham daha. When we did the word anaduh, So that time we use this sutram. But in that same sutram was this vasu in there, vasu. This is the pratyaya vasu. This ramsu, dhamsu are two dhatus. Very strange combination in this sutram. We have the vasu pratyaya over here. We have the dhatu srams. Gandhiyam sramsate hastat. Bhagavad Gita, right? Srams is to kind of slip down. So srams and dvams is to kind of destroy. We have a pratyaya, we have, dvav dhatu, tat pashat ekam pratipadikam. But they all take the dakara adesha. Dakara adesha when it will be padante. So we saw when you look at, if you look at this one, again we've seen this sutram before, 8272, vasu sramsu dhamsu naduham. So dhamsu nadaham. It's hard to pronounce that. This you make it vasu sramsu dhamsva naduham, dhamsu nadaham. Vasu sramsu dhamsva naduham daha. The padacheda is vasu sramsu dhamsu anaduham. Become dhamsa anaduham, dhamsu nadaham. So vasu sramsu dhamsa naduham daha. So that by that sutram, because this vasu will take the dakara adeshaha. So it says 8272. So this should be, again, we are in the Padasya now. So remember how this Padasya and this one is coming, all the time. So this says that the, so when it's Sakaranta Vasu, when we have, one more important thing is that, so this so is coming down here, because remember this small technicality. When we did the form Vidvan over here, okay, Vidvan when we got over here, the question somebody can ask is that why not do a Dakara Adesha here also? Because here also we had Vidvas. It went through some changes, but it became a Padanta now. So, you can use the Nyaya, which is the Ekadesha Vikrutam Ananyavatta. Ekadesha Vikrutam Ananyavatta. Which means even if you transform something in one place, the basic item has not changed. Then why do we not then make a Dakara Adesha by this Vasu from Sudham Sunudaham Daha? Because of the fact that this is not a Sakaranta Vasu. From the Sutram Sasaju Shoruhu. Anuvritti of this Saha comes down there. Sasaju Shoruhu. This Sakaranta Vasu has to be there. So that's what the Vritti says. In fact, look at the Vritti because I forgot to mention that. Sasaju Shoruhu iti ataha sahiti anuvartiti vartate. Tena samhavat, only Vasu has to be Sakarantaha. So Vasvantasya padasya Sakarantasya. And then these others also, Anaduf which we saw earlier, Tiete Shamcha Dakara Desha Bhavati. So when it is that the Padasya. So now what we have is that when we get the Pratyaya which is Jaladi Pratyaya, so then we're going to get the Dakara Desha. By Vasu Sramsu Dhamsu Anudaham, Vasu Sramsu Dhamsva Naduham Daha. So we come Vidvadbhi. So coming down here. So we get Vidvadbhi, we get Vidvadbhyam first. So 8272 Dakara Desha. So she has to be a Sakaranta Vasu. Then in that case, basically the Padasanya it gets Dakara Desha, Vidvadbhyam, Vidvadbhi, Vidvadbhya, Vidvatsu. Only thing is the Kharicha. We get Dakara Desha, then becomes Takara with Kharicha. Now the next one we look at the Shreyas Pratipadikam. This is the same steps as the prior one, like with Vas. Shreyas is formed using the Pratyaya Iyasun. Now this is a Tadita Pratyaya. Now the prior one was a Kudanta form. Kudanta form because we use the Pratyaya Shatru from 3 to 124. In this Adhikara Kuda thing. Kudanta is a participle form with Vas. Again, don't worry about details right now. But the important thing for us, of course, was Ugit. That was the important thing. But essentially was that with Vas was formed using 3 to 124 Shatru Pratyaha. Which is in the Adhikara of Kuda thing. Kudanta form, Kudanta Rupam. This one which you're looking at now is a Tadita form. But it doesn't matter to us right now as long as it is an Ugit. It doesn't matter with Krut Pratyaha, Tadita Pratyaya doesn't make much of difference to us right now. So it's 5357, again only for reference for you. This 5357. 5357 is only for your reference, which is the Pratyaya Iyasun is coming here. Iyasun. So that Iyasun also is in Ugit. Will follow all the same steps as in Vidvas, but the two special rules, which is Vasos Samprasaranam as well as the vasu, sramsu, dvamsu, naduham will not apply here because they're specifically for vasu. We don't have vasu over here. We only have an ugit. That's all we have. So we cannot apply 64131. We cannot apply 8272. They're specifically for vasu. After that, everything else is the same. So Shreyas plus Su when we do, same as we found the form Vidwan, Shreyan, we get the same forms. We get the Numagamaha. Then by Santamata Sanyoga Upadadikha, and we get the form Shreyan. Of course, you cannot do the Naloparipadikantasya because Naloparipadikantasya will not see the Sanyogantasya Lopaha. Nothing new. So same steps as in Vidwan. Sambuddhi also, He Vidwan, He Shreyan, all the same steps. No pada dirgha, same as in He Vidwan. Now in the Au Pratyaya, same thing with Vidwan, so same steps. You do the Numagamaha, Upada dirgha, Santamata Sanyogasya, and then the Anuswara Adeshaha by Nashchapadantasya Jali. After Sarvanamasthanam is finished, decline like Vedas. Tat Paschat Vaishishtam Nasti, Vishesha Karyam Nasti. So Sarvanamasthanam Pasya, after Sarvanamasthanam, there will not be any Vishesha Karyam. So just like we did Vedas, you become, Shreyasaha, then, Shreyasa, just like Vedas, Shreyasaya, Shreyasaha, Shreyasoho, Shreyasam, Shreyasi. Of course, when you get the Padasanya, you get Sasajusho, Ruho, and Hashicha, just like we had Vedhobhya, Shreyo, Vedhobhyam, Shreyobhyam. So just like Vedas, Shastrabhuti Vedasvat, Shastrabhuti Vedasvat, like Vedas. Now, last one for today, actually second last one, Pradipadikam Pums. Pums is a Pradipadikam, which of course means a male, masculine, now or a man, Puman, comes in Gita in a few places. Famous shloka in Gita, Jayatu Vishayan Pumsas Sangaseshu Pajayate, very, very famous shloka, I think 2.62, Pumsaha form is there. Pumsaha is there. So now what happens here is that this one, what's special about this one again? Ask the same question. What is special about this Pratipadikam? Why do you take it separately like that? Because of 7189. What does the Sutram say, 7189? What does it say? It says that this one, Pumso Sung. The Sutram says that Sarvanamasthani Vivakshite, when Sarvanamasthana is going to be coming, then in that case, this takes the Asungadesha. One more time, any Adesha, immediately alontyasya. But special Sutram says, this is Anekashi Sarvasya would have come here. After Asung, after you do Anubandha Lopaha by Upadeshadana Sikit and the Halantyam, Anubandha Lope Asavashishyate. Anekal Adeshaha. So, have to then look at Anekashi Sarvasya, which we don't want. We don't want the entire Angam to go away. So, Nitya Sutram is Nit Adesha Anekalapi. Antyasya Alasthane Syat. So, Nit Adesha Anekalapi. So, if you have a Kavarga Panchama as Nit Adesha, that will force Alontyasya. Even though it is anekal, so these four sutras, once you say adesha, immediately bring these four in. So first alontyasya, then anekachis sarvasya, but then nitya. Because that is why Panini puts this kavarga panchama as an it in this case, so that he wants to make sure that it still follows the antyasya alastane syat. So when you get the pratyaya su, again, when does this come? When Sarvanamasthana affix follows, we get Pum, Sa, we get Asung Adesha. So then we get in the place of the Sakara only, by Nitya Sutram again, we get in Pum, Asung, Sa, Anubandha Lope, Pumas, Sa. Now remember, this one thing that you do need to know over here is that this Pratipadikam Pums was formed using Unadis Pratyaya Dumsun. Why do we need to know this? What does it matter to us? It matters because it's an Ugit Dumsun. So yes, you do have to know some of the Vyutpatti because it will trigger some difference in the Prakriya. Subandha Prakriya will have some implications. based on the vyutpatti. So this dumsun pratyaya, even if you don't worry about it too much, it is an ugit. So therefore, this we have to then apply the vidajam savanama sthane dhatoho. One thing is that in some books you might see this pums with the anuswara being mentioned there. Anuswara will only come by 8.3.24. Nascha pradantasya. Nascha means nasya masya cha. So anuswara adesha bhavati jali parataha apadantasya. So until you come to 8.3.24, we should keep only the makara there. Do not make the anuswara adesha until you come to 8.3.24. So prior to that, because of the purvatra siddham, 8.3.24 has to wait until all the prior rules have applied. So we have to wait. So until that, keep it as pum sa. Don't make it pum sa as anuswara. So we start with pum sa and we apply the usual rules, which is upadesha nunasika it. And now, because the su has a savanama sthana sanya, sudana pumsakasya, su of just out. So we get the asungadesha by nicha antyasya lasthane anekalapi. Even though it's anekaladesha, it is forced to go in the only replace the ending sakara, not the sarvasya. So this 1153. Pumassa, then you get the numagamaha by the sutram. See, once you get pumassa, it's kind of like shreyas. So once you get pumas plus sa, you have the like shreyas, which we just did that. When the savanavasthana pratyaya follows, you're going to get the same karyam, which is the numagamaha followed by the santamahatas sanyogasya. Santamahatas sanyogasya. Both these require sarvanamastani parataha. So you get pumansa, and just like shreyan, we got puman. So after this point, once the asungadesha is done, after that, just same steps as in shreyan, shreyas to shreyan. Same thing with sambuddhi, once you do the asungadesha. So basically, once the asungadesha is done, follow the same steps as we did for shreyas. So become he shreyan, become he puman. So it's the same thing that we did over here. Same thing here, he shreyan we did. The only thing is that, as in shreyan, only difference in these two is that we do not do the upada dirgha, that is asambuddha sav. Asambuddha sav. Okay? So we get he puman, and then similarly like in shreyan so, puman saha, all the same steps. So in all these places we do the numagamaha and also the santamata sanyoga upada dirgha. Now the now when the shas pratyaya follows, of course sarvanamasthanam is finished, so we cannot apply this. This 7189 was only coming when you have the sarvanamasthanam. So there is no asungadesha. Asungadesha is not done. So then we get pums plus shas, pumsaha. Only thing here is we get, of course, the anuswara adesha, nirutta visarga pumsaha. So when we have pratyaya ajadi, there is vishesha karyam nastya. We get pumsa, pumse, pumsaha, pumsoho, pumsam, pumsi. When you have haradi pratyaya, we of course get the padasanya, which again is very important, which is the swadishva sarvanamastane. Padasanya, we get sanyogantasya lopaha. Sanyogantasya lopaha. Sakara will take lopaha. We get pumbhyam. After that, this is padasanya. So you get, we get the anuswasi parasavaranaha, then vapadantasya. Vapadantasya 8459 says that if it's a padanta anuswara, it will become the parasavaranaha optionally. So we get naschavadantasya jali, and then we can, in fact, here I'm sorry, we can use monuswara. Sorry, excuse me, monuswara, because this is a padasanyana. So monuswara followed by the vapadantasya. We get two forms, pumbhyam and pumbhyam. Similarly, same thing, we get pumbhi, pumbhyaha, and pumsu, of course, there's no parasavarana possible here. So the only thing you do is the monuswaraha. Last one for today. I know time is short, but if you give me 2 minutes, Ushanas Pratipadikam. Ushanas is Kavina Mushana Kavihi, Bhagavad Gita. Kavina Mushana Kavihi. Kavina Mushana Kavihi. Shukracharya, Daitya Guru is the teacher of the Daityas, Ushana Kavihi. Kavina Mushana Kavihi. So Ushanas Pratipadikam, Ushanas. Again, what is special about this? Why is not like Vedas? So Vaishishtam Kutrasti is here because it's a special sutra which we have seen again, the 7194 Rudushanas. So there when we did the Parvadim like Kartru or Pitru, we use the sutram Rudushanas 7194. We can go to Sutra Suchi itself, we can go to here. And 794 we had used prior to. Again, another case here today, using a sutra which we have used before in a different context. So we had used Rudushanas, Purudam Sas, and Anehasam Cha, Purudam So Nehasam Cha, Rudantanam, Ushanasadinam, Anang Syad Asambuddhav Sau. Only Asambuddhav Sau takes the Anangadesha. So Rud and Ushanas is specifically mentioned there. That time we would word like Dhatru when we had Rukaranta Padipadikam, we use this sutra because Rud. Any Rukaranta Padipadikam, when it's Asambuddhav Sau, we will need to use this Asambuddhav Sau. But there are also these three Ushanas, then Puru, Sas, and Anehas. Ushanas is mentioned specifically. So what we will do here is that we will now get the Anangadesha Asambuddhav Sau. Asambuddhav Sau becomes of course, Anangadesha again by Nicha, because Anangadesha, normally Anang will be Anekaladesha. So by Anekashi Sarvasya, the entire Ushanas will be gone. But by Nicha, it again comes in the entire, in the Alontyasya, Antyasya Sthane Bhavati. So by 1153, replace only the ending Sakara Ushanas, Ushana plus An. So basically 1155 will stop by 1153. We'll come back to Alontyasya and we get to Ushana plus An, then of course we do the Atogune, Ekadesha, Ushanan. Once you get Ushanan, like kind of like Rajan now. Once you do the Anangadesha, it becomes like Rajan by doing the Atogune. So become Ushanan by of course the Stavanamastane Shasambuddhav, then Halni Abyo Dirga Stuti Sepuktam Hal, and then the Nalapurfadivadikapnasya. Once Anangadesha is done, you do the Atogune, it is now like Rajan. It's only Asambuddhav Sau. Now the last thing for today is, then again excuse the time please, but when we Sambuddhi follows, then this Ushana is a really strange thing. This is a Vartikam over here. This Vartikam is not in the Mahabhashyam. So Kechid Janaha na svikurvanti. They don't accept this Vartikam. Some Vyakaranas. But anyway, it's in the Kaumudi. It's mentioned in Kashika also, so we accept it. This is Asya means Ushanas Shabdasya Sambuddhav Va Anangadesha. We take Anangadesha optionally. Because if you saw this one which we just saw, Sutra Suchi, it says that Syat Asambuddhav Sau. But this Vartikam says that it will take the Anangadesha optionally Sambuddhav. Not only that, take No Lopa also optionally there. So we take Ananga optionally, also No Lopa optionally. Both are going to come. So when the Anangadesha is not done, it will be like Vedas. No Anangadesha, it will be Ushanas plus Su, no special steps. Rutta Visargav, He Ushanaha. Anangadesha is done, it will become like Rajan. So it will be Anangadesha by Nicha, then Atogune, make it Ushanan plus Sha. Then, of course, you do the usual Halni Abyo Dirga Suti Japaktam Hal, and then we cannot do the Nakar Lopaha because of 8 to 8. Nani Sambuddhyoho, Nishe Sutram, Nani Sambuddhyoho, no Nakar Lopa, Ni Sambuddhyo, and Sambuddhi follows. But the Vartikam says is Pakshikaha, Nakar Lopa Bhavatyeva. So we get Nakar Lopaha exceptionally, optionally. So we get He Ushana. Trini Rupani Bhavanti, He Ushana. So unlike He Rajan, this is because the Vartika Balat, it will take Nakar Lopaha optionally. And Anang itself is optional. So it will become like He Rajan, it will become like He Ushanan. After doing the Atogune, when you do that, then you get like He Rajan, He Ushanan. And when the Anangadesha is not done, of course, it will be like He Vedas, He Veda, He Ushana. So let's stop with that. Again, sorry for the time, but so we're getting to the end of Subandha Prakaranam. Please practice only 2 or 3 more classes for the rest of your life. You can practice this. So Ramo Rajamanistada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Vihata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Paranam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bhorama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sasanamatattullyam Ramanama Varanane Shri Ramanama Varanana Om Namaiti. Again, this is February 12th, the first session. We'll come back in 10 minutes for Ramayana.